Good morning. This is all about three facts. This is Friday morning, by the way, the 28th day of March. The United States of America is the richest, most diverse economy in the world. I will say one more thing. United States of America is the richest, most diverse economy in the world that God has made. Since the dawn of mankind, there has never been a more reinventive, resilient economy in the world. I'll give you one example. The automobile sector. The automobile sector in the United States of America is, I was even surprised by this. It's 1, 2, 3. It's 3% of the economy. That's it. So 97% of the economy of the United States is non-automotive. 3%. Now, Doug Ford and Ontario, he can snort, he can fart, he can piss his pants, he can shit his pants. He's a big guy. So Doug Ford again can snort, he can fart, he can piss his pants, and he can shit his pants. But in his province, the automobile economy, it's not as big as it used to be. You had jerks like Bob White and so on. The labor in Canada has been much more radical, much more unionized workforce. And because of Bob White and those guys, the automobile sector in Windsor is not as big as it used to be. GM is certainly not the presence in Oshawa it used to be. And Ford still has a fairly significant presence in Oshawa, in Oakville. They take and say, I'm just going to guess it off the top. Automobile sector in Ontario and the parts market and all is probably somewhere around 10%. In Mexico, it's bigger yet. Much of the automobile, because of Bob White and people that think like him, much of the parts market has moved to Mexico. And that's not because of President Trump, my hero President Trump. Not even because of Doug Ford. It's way before him. The automobile parts market and car assembly market, much of it has migrated to Mexico in the last 10, 15, 20 years. That's a fact. You're not going to change that. Now, Nova Scotia. We buy, my beloved province of Nova Scotia buys about $480 million of goods from the United States every year. The United States buys from Nova Scotia $4.5 billion. Every billion is 1,000 million. So virtually 10 times as much. So when you have a customer that buys 10 times as much as you do, this is what you buy, 10%, and they buy 10 times as much, I'd say the customer has the upper hand. So Claudia Schindler and Terrible Timony and Derek Mumbercat and Brian Ward at Halifax Herald can snort and fart and piss their pants and shit their pants or panties or whatever. But you are not going to intimidate President Trump. Not going to happen. You're going to hate him. You can make derogatory remarks. You can be anti-American. You can put your fist up. You can say, I'm not going to buy lettuce and tomatoes in California or oranges in Florida and whatever. Well, tough. I've even seen people write letters in the editor in Halifax Herald that, well, we shouldn't be selling our natural gas. We had natural gas off in Nova Scotia. We still have all kinds, but the present project, which wrapped up about 5-6 years ago now, we shouldn't be selling natural gas. We keep it for ourselves. Well, we can keep. It doesn't matter what the product is. Manufactured goods, forest-related goods, aggregates, seafood. Okay, scallop, crab, lobster, some finfish, but it's primarily the seafood market in Nova Scotia. It's primarily shellfish now. It has been for quite a while. The hake and the seals eating all the codfish. Of course, that's why the lobster industry is so good. So again, The United States is the richest, most diverse. Healthcare. Healthcare is a huge sector. Yes, it's privatized. It's privatized healthcare. And it works very well. Up here, they got priorities. Is your health important? Not that important. What's important? A side-by-side. Oh, I got to have a side-by-side drive down the road, even though we have a truck and a car. Side-by-side, four-wheelers, Sea-Doos, the big boats, the toys of every description. So if that's more important than your health, well, it's a free world. Again, if the side-by-side, $25,000, $30,000 side-by-side, the four-wheeler, the Sea-Doo, the Ski-Doo, or the big boat is more important than your health, well, it's a free world and you're welcome to do what you want. Nobody comes to Canada for health care unless they come in from a third world country. Everybody goes to the United States for health care. It's a fact. Health care, technology, the financial center, the financial industry, it can go on. These are sectors that are small in Canada relative to the United States. Healthcare, I think, is effective to S&P, Standard & Poor's Index. Healthcare is 13%. So healthcare industry in the United States is 4 times as big as the automobile sector. Then you take technology. That's huge in the United States. I don't know what the figure is, but it'd be a multiple of the automobile sector and so on. So you can, and by the way, when President Trump is putting 25% tariffs on automobiles coming to the country, do you know what the fuckers over in Europe put on? They put on up to 100%. Yes, Germany, Mr. Kaiser, Mr. Hitler's nationality, the Kaiser, Mr. Hitler's nationality. They're trying to rearm themselves now again. God knows what. Probably start World War III. You can't trust Germans. Never give a German a gun. Just doesn't work out. Never give them a tank or a bunch of weaponry. Just doesn't work out. They made 2 world wars in the last century, and if they had their way, they'd make a 3rd world war. And that is a fact. That's a fact. No other nation has done to the world mankind what Germans has done to humanity. Just in the last century. That's a fact. A fact. Cold, hard, true fact. So they put up to 100% on an automobile coming in from the United States and Europe. 25% just a little scratch. And so you are not going to intimidate President Trump. You must deal with it. We have a massive drug problem around Trachety. It's not big. It's not huge. It's massive. And yes, we have a big drug problem in the United States too. There's no question. But it doesn't change the fact that drugs are coming across the border. Fentanyl entering communist China through both Mexico and Canada. And President Trump wants some sort of fairness in trade. And again, Claudia Sheinbaum can piss her pants, shit her pants, shit her piss her panties. Terrible Timothy can do it. Mark Carney for time being. Pierre Poilievre, Justin Trudeau. Not going to work. You will negotiate with President Trump and give him some sort of deal, or you'll be talking about this in a year, 15 months, 2 years from now. And I'm certain a conclusion will be reached. It's not going to take that long. A conclusion will be reached. With that, I'm going to eat my breakfast. And I wish you all the best. God bless. And those 3 facts I told you. The automobile industry is 3% of the United States economy. 3%. In Ontario, it's at least 10%. Nova Scotia buys $480 million worth of U.S. products a year. U.S. products, our beautiful products, Nova Scotia. United States buys $4.5 billion. Tires, paper, some lumber. New Brunswick's much bigger than lumber. Seafood, be it lobster, crab, scallops, bit of fin fish, aggregates, and a whole bunch of other products. So when you have a customer that's buying almost 10 times as much from you as you from them, you better pay attention to that customer. And that's a fact. Thank you. God bless. Get a good breakfast yourself.